Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, it's been about a week since we made our apple scrap vinegar, and I brought you back today to show you the action that we've got going in the container, and that we were going to make two jars of orange vinegar. And I just wanted to show you the versatility of the recipe. Now, I know there's lots and lots of recipes out there that show you how to make vinegar from different scraps, but I'm going to take my turn in showing you today. Now, this is oranges. I have a bunch of oranges that I'm going to be feeding to my chickens, but I took advantage of that, and I'm also going to be using some of it myself. And some of the meat some of the meat of the oranges is going to go to them, and some of the peelings. But I wanted to get a couple of jars going for cleaning and for rinsing my not my dishwasher, but my washing machine on the rinse cycle using this. And also you can use it as a hair rinse. I don't know if I'll use this citrus for a hair rinse. You can also make vinaigrette dressings and other things with it here in the kitchen. It would be delicious. But I do want to stress to you, this vinegar, homemade vinegar, is good for all kinds of things, whether it's oranges or apples or limes, lemons, plums, peaches, pears, whatever you use. But you don't use it for canning. You need to use store-bought vinegar that is 5% acidity to use in your canning. This can be used for all kinds of cleaning and cooking and all kinds of things, but not canning. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, last week we made the apple. Today we're going to make the orange. And I'll come back to the apple in just a minute and show you how it's working. Now, I have two jars here, and you'll notice that these are not half-gallon size jars. These are jars that would have been thrown away had I not saved them to use them for other uses. And I put all kinds of things in these jars, and I have the canisters that go along with the food saver, and I put the jar lids on these when I can put rice or oatmeal or any kind of dry good in them, and I put the lid on it, and I put it inside my food saver, and I'm able to use these as jars to seal dry foods. And I have a video, an older video that I do that, but I can also, if you're interested, show you again the food saver using that canister to use for these jars for dry canning. And I'll be happy to show that to you. But today I'm going to use them for this purpose. Now, all I'm going to do is add sugar to this, distilled water or filtered water in my case, to these jars, get them stirred up and put covers on them just like I did with the apple cider vinegar. And it doesn't matter that they're not half-gallon. These jars will work just fine. Now, the only difference that I did was this jar is the oranges themselves cut up, and so it's got fruit and the orange peeling in them. And this jar is mostly orange peelings. Now, I do have an orange or two in here that's got a little bit of the fruit on it, but that'll be just fine. They won't hurt them at all. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is add about 1/4 of a cup of sugar, or a little bit less, to each of these jars. And you can put a little bit less sugar if you want to. I wouldn't try to do these totally without sugar, because you are doing this process, and the yeast, the things that you are using to create this, needs that sugar to get started working. So you need to put some sugar in this, and then those things will eat the sugar up. And so this is a 1/2 cup measurement, so I'm just going to eyeball it and put half in one and half in the other, and some on my little cutting board here. Who would Josie be if I didn't spill some? And so this is just distilled water, and I'm going to simply pour it over the top. Notice that it's bubbling there. Now you want to leave it some room to work. So I'm not going to go all the way to the top on either jar. And then I'm going to use my chopstick. I like using a chopstick to get down in there. You could use your the little debubbler that comes with your canning set, and it'll work fine too. I don't like to use knives or anything like that with glass, just because I don't want to take the chance of breaking it. And then you're just going to get in there and just kind of move it around to get the sugar to begin dissolving. When you get it all stirred up, you can kind of see if you need to add a little bit more water. But don't forget to leave yourself a little bit of space at the top. This is all going to bubble and work, and you don't want it to the very, very top, for when it starts bubbling, you have a trouble with not boil over, but bubble over. I hope you guys are having a pretty day. It's beautiful here. Today it's warmed back up. We've had a couple days of really, really cold weather. We had some storms blow through, and windy, about 3 days of extreme wind. Okay, that's pretty good on that one, and you can see that the fruit is pretty good, but I may go ahead and add just a smidge more water to that. Okay, and this one, I'm going to have to poke those peels down. This jar has got a little bit of a shape on towards the bottom. And now I just want to kind of mix these around just like I did the one that's the actual fruit pieces. Get in there and get that sugar. Beginning to get dissolved. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I wanted to show you this jar here is a jar that had some kind of pickles in it. Pickled peppers is I'm pretty sure jalapenos or another type of pepper in this one. And this one is a spaghetti jar. And both of these are being used to help me process something else in the kitchen for my family. So they will be saved from the garbage. And I think it's good to be able to use these. Even with my dry canning, it keeps critters out. And we're putting that food up for our families, not for those nasty little critters. And so anyway, what we'll do is we'll get these covered, and I've got some more covers that my sister-in-law made. These are supposed to be bowl covers, but I'm going to use them for jar covers. And so you just slip them right on there. Now, if you didn't have these, you could put a paper towel, or you could put a coffee filter with a rubber band on there, and just so that your little jars can get some air. And then you will each day come in and stir these. They'll start to bubble, and you just stir it around. Now you'll see that my orange peels have popped up a little bit, and that's okay that they do that. Tomorrow I'll come in here and I'll stir it, and I'll stir these peels kind of up and down in here. You know, kind of make sure that the ones that were on top are submerged, and then the other ones come up, and it'll be just fine. I keep them covered just like that, and it'll take about a month to make them, and so we'll set them there. and a little bit, I will put them in their place. Now those jars are kind of sticky a little bit, and I can't stand sticky. And I'll get those washed off. And okay, so here's the apple cider vinegar. It's been 1 week since I started this. This is the other bowl cover that my sister-in-law made, and it's working out really good. And here is my apples. Now if you'll look closely, you can see here on the top there's bubbles all the way around, and there are bubbles down. It might be a little bit hard for you to see because my jar has ridges on the outside of it, a design, and it might be hard for you to see the bubbles, but if you were able to see it with the naked eye, you could tell all through in here that there's bubbles, and this is working. And so every day I just simply take the cover off, and I just give this a little stir. Now you can see that it's foaming up. I hope you can see that. I'll bring the camera over here in a minute and show you just what this is doing, or I'll lift the jar up there closer for you so that you can see. And I just stir these around. Now these still have days, weeks to go before this is ready. And when it is ready, then I just simply pour this through a mesh strainer and get the goodies, get the vinegar out, save it, and throw these scraps out, and they'll go to the chickens, and there won't be any mess. So let me scooch this up here so that you can see. I hope you can see those bubbles all the way around on the top. So this is working really good, and I'll have a big mess of apple scrap vinegar before long. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed coming along today, seeing how the apple scrap vinegar is doing and how easy it is to make vinegars as you have fruits that are not really of something that you want to eat anymore. You can still use them to make some other product for your family, and it's fun. It's easy to do as long as you have a place. Now there have been some that have asked if this needs to go in a dark cabinet. No, it doesn't. I just have it on my countertop over here, and every day I see it over there, and it reminds me to give it a good stir. So till next time guys, this is Josie. I hope it helps you look well to the ways of your household. I love you. I really do. We're gone.